January 22nd, 2026 meeting of the City of Denison Main Street Incorporated to order. First item on our agenda is to administer statements of officer and oaths of office to newly appointed and or reappointed members.
All right, if our new members would please stand and raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Spencer McDuffie,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
as a member of the Denison Main Street, Inc.
as a member of the Denison Main Street Inc.
Board of Directors
Board of Directors
and the Main Street Advisory Board
and the Main Street Advisory Board
for the City of Denison, Texas,
for the City of Denison, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state, so help me God.
and of this state, so help me God.
Thank you and welcome.
Yay!
Thank you.
Okay, are there Public Information Act, Open Meeting Act, and conflicts of interest training with the city clerk?
Are we really close? Yeah, we're really close. Okay, so I'm going to do some brief training with you guys, just to kind of go over some of the basics. After this meeting, I'll go ahead and circulate the Boards and Commissions Policy Manual, which has more in-depth information of some of the stuff I'm going to cover. So this is just going to be kind of the nutshell version of what we're going to cover. Go ahead and switch it. Okay. So our topics of discussion: makeup and function of the Main Street Boards, rules of procedure, conducting business meetings, reviewing agenda and business packets, open government, and then ethics. So first we'll talk about the Texas Open Meetings Act. What this is every regular or special meeting where there's a quorum, it must be open to the public and it must be noticed. So this doesn't include like social gatherings and stuff like that, although my practice is to always notice those as just an event where there may be a quorum but no action or business will be conducted. So for transparency's sake for our public, it's important that we keep every regular special meeting noticed. And these do get recorded, they do get pushed out to YouTube so that people can see you guys in action. With regard to the agenda, we have to post the agenda, which includes the date, hour, place, time, all that stuff for the meeting. Has to be posted at City Hall. As you can see, we've got a nice collection on the window out there of all of our agendas. It used to be 72 hours notice. It's now 3 business days before the meeting. Our legislatures decided that they needed to change it, so it's now 3 business days. Just a little bit about each of the boards. Main Street is made up of 9 members. The advisory board's made up of 10. We added DDI when we took over Heritage Park. A representative from DDI is now on the Main Street board. Members are appointed by the City Council, and it's based on recommendation by our selection panel. Every year we have an open period in October for people to apply. Once we get applications, we schedule interviews. Well, this year we didn't get around to interviews because of the change in the law and trying to get everybody together. It didn't work out, so what we had to do was everybody on the committee scored based on your application. That's why it's really important to include in your application all of your credentials so that they can evaluate all of your skills. They are 2-year terms. They're staggered for continuity so that not everybody's leaving at the same time. There is a 75% attendance requirement, and that's tracked through the minutes. It's reviewed annually, and if you do not meet that, it can result in your seat being declared vacant by the City Council. The function of the boards: Main Street, you're operating as a nonprofit organization focused on community benefit, so charitable, educational, or scientific purposes. Main Street Advisory Board promotes participation in all aspects of the Main Street program and advises and supports the Main Street Director and program activities. far as making motions, most of you are pretty good at this. I know some of you have been around for a while, so when making a motion, you're going to address the chair. Just say, I move to approve, or I move to deny, whatever the motion is, and then a second to that motion is required. It's really important for the chair to announce who makes the motion and who seconds the motion. Like with our mayor, he'll say, I have a motion from Councilmember Redwine and a second by Councilmember Thomas. It's important because people that are watching on YouTube, they don't know who is who. So, what's that?
It helps me with
And it
that.
helps her too. So, anyway, so just keep that in mind. And then tabling items, same thing, requires a motion and a second. No debate is allowed on the underlying issue. No amendments to the tabling motion can be made. It has to set a definite date for reconsideration, and then staff will put that on a future agenda so that it doesn't fall through the cracks. This is my favorite one. The motion to take no action requires a motion. So it's the same thing, it's just you make a motion to take no action, requires a second and a vote, and you're done. As far as conducting a successful meeting, it's important for the chair and the members to keep the meeting under control and conduct it in an orderly manner. Do your homework. Make sure you read and review the agenda and the agenda packets. If you have questions, make sure you reach out to the Main Street team. They can answer any questions you might have. Another one that's important, we'll cover this in a little bit, is a conflict of interest. Think about whether or not you have a conflict of interest on a certain item. If you do, it requires an affidavit to be signed, and those get posted on our website and have to stay there for 5 years. I don't know why. The record retention's only 2 years, but they make us keep them 5 on the website. Who knew? And we do have those forms, so if you do end up having a conflict, let us know, let me know, so that we can get an affidavit to you, get it signed. You'll have to recuse yourself from that item on the agenda. You're not allowed in discussion or to vote on that item. So, be professional. This one, you guys don't have a big public presence at your meeting, so this one, doesn't apply most of the time to you, but, being professional, of course, does. But as far as mingling with friends, acquaintances, applicants, that type of stuff, you don't want to appear biased. So, if you have something on the agenda where you have a public presence, it's best to just not mingle with those that are here. So, be attentive to those who are appointing or to those that are presenting. It's important that you hear the information that's being presented. And then arrange your schedule to be at the meeting on time. That way we know that there's going to be a quorum, and we can get the meeting started on time and people aren't waiting around. So, open government training. The Attorney General requires 90 days within your appointment to the board that you complete the Open Meetings Act and the Public Information Act training. And those certificates get returned to the city clerk's office. We keep those on file. Believe it or not, we've actually had open records requests for folks' certificates, so make sure you get them back to us. Yeah. And again, this is just the Open Meetings Act, talks about, what I discussed, that our meetings have to be properly noticed to the public within 3 business days, anytime there's a quorum present. And I do want to stress that with the focus on government nowadays, people look at everything. So just make sure that you're, following the rules. Make sure you're not 4 or 5 of you aren't meeting and discussing things. There's also what's called a walking quorum or a daisy chain, where one of you starts talking to somebody and then that person starts talking to the next person and down the line, and now you've violated the Open Meetings Act once you hit 4 people that are now involved in this conversation. So just be weary of that, because there are penalties. You could get civil and criminal penalties for that, so just make sure you're aware of that. Public Information Act, this is our Open Records, Open Government Act. Basically, it's any information that's collected, gathered, assembled by the government that's held. It only refers to documents that are in existence at the time a request comes in. So we get about 2,000 open records requests a year, and that's growing every year with our growth. So you guys, as board members, you're subject to the Public Information Act. So any emails, text messages you're sending that involve city business, those are subject to the Open Records Act. So, and you are the trustee of that record for 2 years. So even if once you leave the board, you are required to maintain that record for 2 years. All right, let's talk a little bit about ethics. This is the conflicts of interest that I was talking about earlier. We operate under Chapter 171 and 176 of the Local Government Code. As far as having an interest in a business entity, this gives the definition of that. If you own 10% or more of the voting stock or shares of the business entity, or you own either 10% or more, or 15,000 or more of the fair market value of the business entity, or you receive funds from the business entity that exceed 10% of the person's gross income for the preceding year. And then under 176, this really refers more to local government officers. A city officer, the officer's family member, has an employment or business relationship that results in taxable income of more than $2,500. Or a family member receives and accepts one or more gifts with an aggregate value of $100, or a city officer has a family relationship with a vendor. So if you fall under any of those, if someone were to, if you were reviewing, something for a Main Street project and you fell into one of these categories, that would be a conflict of interest. So you'd be required to recuse yourself from that. So, and that's all I have. That's kind of, like I said, that's the nutshell version of everything. I'll send around the policy manual. It's about 38 pages. It has a little more in-depth information about, the roles of city officers and then the boards and some other information for you. So I'll circulate those. And I'm happy to answer any questions if anyone has any questions.
The open meetings training, is that for new members only, or do we have to redo that annually?
So if you've done it once, you're not required to do it again. There's no requirement for a change. But my recommendation is, with the laws that change as often as they do, every other year they're in a legislative session. Like this last legislative session, they had some changes to the Open Meetings Act, so they update that. So if it's been a while since you did it, I would recommend that you take a refresher, maybe every 4 years. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Chris? Nope? Okay, thank you, Chris.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, moving on to public comments. And we don't have any, so moving on. Individual items for consideration. Receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on approval of the minutes from the Denison Main Street, Inc. Board of Directors meeting held on December 18th. Has everyone had an opportunity to read through the minutes, and are there any changes?
Make a motion to adopt the minutes as written.
Second.
I have a motion made by Mitch and a second made by Kat. All those in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Bless you. All right, the minutes are approved. Receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on applying for grants.
So we need to seek other funds for some public art to finish our streetscape out. There's a Denison lettering. It's a formed metal that spells out Denison, and it is in the plans, but if we run out of money, we may not get it, so I want to make sure we get it, and plan to write a grant, probably from the T-Mobile. And then we also have Levitt grants for our music festival in September that we would like to get. And then, of course, the usual Music on Main grants from the Smith, the Mayor, the Regensburger, and Munson. And then there's a Braun grant. That's the mayor. The Braun grant is for something music related that it's not coming to mind right now, I'm sorry. But it's, along with those others.
I will entertain a motion to apply for these grants.
Make a motion?
Second. Motion made by Mitch and second by Kat. All those in favor of applying for the grants that Donna has mentioned, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, motion passed. Go get us some money, Donna.
Yeah.
All right. There being no further business, I adjourn this meeting at 8:20. And I call to order the City of Denison Main Street Advisory Board meeting for January 22nd at 8:20 a.m. And we have already administered the oath, so we'll move on to public comments. Are there any public comments? No? Okay, moving on. Items for individual consideration. Receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on approval of the minutes of the Main Street Advisory Board meeting held on December 18th. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes, and are there any changes that you see? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A second?
Motion by Kat and second by
Ashley.
Ashley. Thank
Lynn.
you.
Ashlyn.
Ashlyn.
Yes, ma'am.
All those in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Update on TERS number 3 by the city's finance department.
So we have Orlando with us today, and
Morning,
he's going
Orlando.
to give us an update.
Good morning, board. Thank you for having me this morning. Let's see if I can fit this in here. I think I'll just hold it. Okay, so I got a lot of information for you this morning, so I'll just hit some of the highlights, and if you have any questions for me, just feel free to ask. So the TERS, a tax increment reinvestment zone, is created by the city council to attract new investment to the area. And it helps encourage redevelopment in areas that otherwise wouldn't be sufficient, would not attract sufficient market development in a timely manner. And TERS funding comes from tax-based, not existing tax revenues. So the way the TERS works is they take a snapshot of the assessed values when it's created. So if you see that little graph there, and then each year as assessed values grow, that increment is being put into the reinvestment zone. So for instance, if they took a snapshot of a property, let's say $100, and next year it grows to $200, that $100 increment is what's being put into the reinvestment zone. And so it does not create new taxes. It just takes a portion of that increment to put into the reinvestment zone. There's a lot of flexibility in the TERS. You can use it for infrastructure, utilities, parks, streetscapes, and the tax statute says variety or public improvements. So there's a lot of vague wording there, but anything that benefits the public can be used. And so for last year, for fiscal year 2025, the 2024 TERS rate was about 51 cents per $100. And then the county contributed about 18 cents per $100 into the zone. And then the TERS 3 TERS, it's a 30-year TERS, so it will end in 2046, and there's an option to extend it, but it has to be approved by City Council first. Okay, so for the property tax value, It has increased since the beginning of the TERS. I mean, it started at 83 million, and this past year, the assessed values of the TERS 3 was 289 million for the city and the county, 276. There's a little difference there just because of how the county taxes, and so it just has a little different assessed value. But if you see the growth rate, I mean, it's really improved throughout the years. And there's a TERS 3 deposits. I mean, those have increased along with the assessed value, so that's been really good to see for the city. Are there any questions for the TERS?
Before the TERS was put into place, we got none of the county taxes. And so they set aside 75% of their tax. They agreed, as he mentioned about the blue line.
Oh yeah, the base value. The base value.
So as he mentioned that, they set aside for us. They still keep their original, just like we do.
And question on that, is there any change to the county's contribution, or is that constant through the whole period?
That's through the whole period, through the agreement. And if they wanted to change it, they would have to write a written request, and then council and the board would have to approve it. Okay, so if we flip over to the next page, we're gonna talk a little bit about sales tax. I took a snapshot from the beginning of 2013, just that's when the data I had was available. But if you see, I mean, we had a pretty linear progression throughout the years, and 2021 to 2022 really took a huge jump, which is amazing to see. And it's kind of, I think as the market's kind of flatten out right now, it's starting to, you can see it kind of dipped a little bit, but I think it's starting to go up with the recent numbers I have seen. With that second graph at the bottom, it's a city sales tax trend. And here you can kind of see the points. If you look alongside with your other downtown sales tax trend, you can kind of see that they align pretty, they align most of the time. The one thing with sales tax is the data that we see is 2 months, from 2 months ago. So anything that you see in January, it's actually taken from November. It's all the sales tax from November. So if we look at the points, the highlights, February, let's see, May, August, and November. So the big months that people are spending money would be December, what is that? March, June, and then September are the big times that seems like people are really spending money. And then if you look at the downtown sales tax trend, it aligns mostly the same too. December, about March or April, August, and September have been the biggest months for downtown. There was a little outlier in 2025. It shows that June had, April had the biggest month for 2025. So I'm not sure why, because usually it would be March, but it could just be how the state did their reporting. But anyways, do y'all have any questions on a downtown sales tax?
Question on the dollar amounts, they look, because I'm just looking at them, they look like reversed, like the downtown sales tax is more than the city sales tax. And then the downtown sales tax is like a fifth of the value of the overall? I'm just looking at what those discrepancies.
Oh,
Why there's such a
yeah. So
number difference.
for the downtown sales tax, it's done total by year, so the whole calendar year. And then for the city sales tax, I'm doing it by month.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And then on the very last page, I just put a map of the TERS 3 if y'all were curious on what the zone was. Oh, I'll send it to you. Sorry.
Is there a couple of reasons why there was a jump, like they could account for the jump from 21 to 22? Like, is it easy to explain?
I can't really tell. It's just like
It's like, what
it just happened. Yeah.
That was whenever I bought a house, and it was like crazy at that time. So my guess would be probably just the real estate market at that point. So,
Yeah, there's nothing really in the data that I can tell that like
Okay.
just says like, I mean, yeah, it could be just, I mean, the economy at that time, everyone was just spending money. So,
Okay.
Any other questions for Orlando? No? All right, any other great news to share with us?
I love downtown. It's great.
Nice, all right.
Thank you.
Orlando. All right, board orientation, including distribution and review of our notebooks.
Sam has done, she has worked really hard, and I hear that Grant helped her too. But she's put together individual notebooks for you guys, and some of you should have already had them. But along with the TERS information, we're just kind of doing a recap today, so the new board members will have an idea of how it all works together. And so the TERS update that Orlando just gave is how we fund our streetscape. So you probably will hear comments from time to time about they could fix the potholes. Potholes can't be fixed because this money is protected. It's got to go in our zone. And he mentioned the map. He said he would send it. But that is, that is dedicated funds. And it was started in 2016. And so, of course, there were no collections until 2017. But if you look there on the bottom right-hand corner, I wanted to point out that it's 4.9 million that has been collected to date, and that's interest also. And that is a number that you will find on our infographic that we're going to come across. Do you have those in the notebook, or you have? Okay. So we'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to point that out and to let you know how all this works together. Are we going to start with social media? What's up first?
So obviously, I like seeing things go up for social media, so that's great. We had just with the Meta like reporting that I can pull, the Instagram couldn't pull until later in the year, so I really stuck to Facebook. But we had almost 2 million views on things from Denison just on Facebook alone, which I think is awesome. We had watch time of 135% more this year. We had a 30% increase in followers. And anyways, just things are looking really good. Obviously, we had a lot of amazing things that happened this year, so I'm hoping that trend continues forward next year. But this was definitely an outlier year where we had so much more engagement. One of the things that I thought was really cool was our most successful post was whenever the Deviled Egg Company was on Shark Tank. So that's really cool, seeing it's not just, awards or something that got, it's our businesses that are getting really highlighted too. as well as like festivals, and we made like those videos for construction. Those got a lot of views too. So anyways, all in all, it was a really good year on social media, and I'm hoping that continues. Yeah, yeah, we had the
Yeah.
awards. That was a big part of that too.
And then there's that.
Yes.
Do y'all have any questions on social media? We have Downtown Denison TX on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, we have a Twitter channel and YouTube. And downtowndennison.com on the internet.
No questions? All right.
Sam has some information that she's going to share. Yeah.
So, in your notebooks, at the not the last page, but the second to last page. So you have the tab in our new board members binder, I should say. It's the second to last page. It's this infographic. Looks like this. It's got some information. So I see Rebecca's got hers from last year. So I updated that for this year. It has a front and back this time. So it goes through just different information for downtown for 2025. So what I call the front, but it doesn't really matter, is it has a spotlight on downtown on it. That's what I call the front. But it goes through different stats about our downtown businesses, our employees in the district, some sales tax information, event attendance, some publicity that we got over this past year in reference to our awards that we won, because we were the best. And I also, on what I call the back, tried to talk a little bit more about the people side of it, I guess. So I referenced one in 3 visitors returned 4+ times, and then 1 in 4 visitors returned 6+ times. So that shows people wanting to come here and want to come back here, I think. So that kind of is part of my focus on the back. But with this in general, so the information that I put on here was pulled from a number of places, largely Placer AI, also largely my spreadsheets that I keep throughout the year. Our department tracks the businesses coming in and out of the district each quarter, and the employees that they have, the number of employees, I should say, not their names, that kind of information. So that's where I got all of this information from. I keep track of a lot of that stuff for our quarterly reports that we submit to Texas Historical Commission each quarter. That way they can track what we're doing too and help out with everything. So yeah, do y'all have any questions about the infographic or where the information comes from? Or if Donna, do you have anything to add?
I think that's great information, Sam. Thank
Yeah,
you
she
for
does a good
highlighting
job
that for us.
putting that on the sheet. We handed them out at the summit last Friday, and Tony Kai always likes our infographics.
I have more if you want like an actual copy of it. That's not like a piece of paper in your notebook, so I can give those to you later.
Yeah, I refer to it often, and we will be handing them out also at our awards on February 26th. Small commercial here. Not very many people have completed the nomination for our awards, and it's not dependent on that because we have a good idea of, the projects that rose to the top. But what if we miss something? We want y'all to make sure and nominate, the recipients, so it's not just reliant upon us. So that is a QR code. We can send it out if you need us to. Sam, can you remember to send that out? The QR code for the nominations?
Yes. Absolutely.
That will be a good reminder because the deadline's the 26th, I believe. No,
The 26th of January, or?
no. The deadline is maybe tomorrow. I don't remember.
We'll send that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if we were going to move on, or I wanted to point out though, in your binder or in your packet that I handed you, all the returning members, there's a new accountability agreement. It's not, I shouldn't say new, but just every year, I'll give y'all one. So if you could give me that second page, you'll sign it and give it back to me, that would be lovely, before you leave.
So we can get you a copy of that so you can remember what you promised.
Oh, I put it on its own page so they could keep it this year. I moved it. So they just give me a different page, so they have their own.
Good.
They can keep it.
Good.
Mhm. Yes, I just need the signed page back.
She's thoughtful like that. So while you're signing, I will point out that attendance is important. And so you have to attend at least 75% of the meetings. And so just keep that in mind. And volunteering. So we also have 4 committees plus. So the 4 committees are our 4 points that the Main Street approach is.
Turn out batteries. When you guys sign your form, go ahead and pass that in, and we'll go ahead and get that to sign.
You want these oaths as well and everything?
Yes, if you
Okay.
Yeah, it's all mixed in.
We're just gonna mix it all together, so sorry.
Thank you for signing that. So we have four points, and that's organization, which Rebecca is on. And it's a fun committee, isn't it, Rebecca? It's amazing.
Okay, here you go. Done. I got this one.
Okay.
So there's organization, and that makes sure we have enough volunteers to get our job done, whatever, our goals we may set. And it also is raising funds if needed for, like, maybe being an advocate for the budget or grants or things like that. So it's money and volunteers on organization. Design is anything visual, so it could be from, you serve on our design committee, we discuss a lot of public art and have a certain approval aspect in that. Of course, it must go through historic preservation, but maybe offering assistance with buildings or specifically keeping downtown tidy and neat and addressing issues like that. Some recent comments from business owners have been that we've got a lot of dumpster diving. So that's kind of it's not necessarily a visual thing, but if there's a lot of trash on the ground, it is visual. So that's why we group it in with that. So anything visual, like the design of the new streetscape, you could weigh in on things like that. We have a separate committee that is attached to the streetscape, but you could still offer input. Okay, so we've got organization, design, economic vitality. And so that's something that Zach is on, our chair, who is missing in action today. And we have a lot of bankers and realtors on that, but you don't have to be any certain occupation. It's just an interest. And so that's the one where Sam keeps all the statistics. And we go over them sometimes, like the building sales, the movement in the district, and things like that in the meeting. And then Tiffany Barney with DDA has put together this disaster response package, and she did it through that committee. And so
There's a
recently,
QR code to that in your binder as well. Sorry
Oh,
to interrupt
yeah.
you. To the disaster preparedness thing.
yeah, that's a good new tool. Like, fortunately, Wendy was primarily prepared when she had the fire with insurance and things like that. But you want to be prepared for the unknown. So that's economic vitality, and the fourth one would be promotion. And so that's all the fun stuff, the events and the concerts and things like that. So specials, just things to ring cash registers. Sometimes it doesn't ring cash registers, like our Monsters on Main. When we have that, it's just a good thing that we do for the community, but it's still under promotion. And we would also probably characterize promotion. Sometimes we talk about social media, what more we could do social media-wise to help the business owners through construction or whatever. So that's the 4 base committees that we have. We also have Eisenhower Birthday Committee, where we have the birthplace services members on that. We have a member from the Parent Air Force Base Museum. Kirk Chakowski is on that because he just loves that, I guess, subject matter. And so we have that committee. We have a special committee for Doc Holliday and music. Yeah, music friendly. Is that all? Yeah. And so then we also bring a stakeholders group together, which would be like DDI, the Chamber, Tourism, Parent Air Force Base Museum, Red River Railroad Museum, and the birthplace. And so we meet quarterly on that. But back to music friendly, that's something that we've been doing since 2020, and it's really paying benefits. Like yesterday, Grant and I met with a representative from the Dallas Music Friendly office, and she has put together with a partner healthcare benefits. It's not health insurance, but it's benefits for musicians and the related industry. So like Kat, somebody that maybe works your door or services the music industry, and we might extend that to the whole staff, but anybody that works in the music industry, whether they do sound or whatever, are eligible for this. And in Dallas, they've extended it to the artist, and we think that's appropriate for us. But I'll just tell you a little bit about what it is and go ahead and get that report out of the way, if that's okay. The healthcare package is $75 a month for their coverage, and it is either, it doesn't replace your major medical, but it can be a supplement to maybe a catastrophic package. So maybe you get a real high deductible and you get this, or maybe you don't have anything and you get this to just be a buffer, so you can take care of yourself. So it provides all the telehealth visits, like if you've got a cough or if you've got anything going on with telehealth, it provides all that you need, and then it provides urgent care by telehealth, and it gives you 8 mental health visits over a year, and so that's the package. But then the really nice benefit of it is it pays for your meds, and there's over 2,000, yeah, keep me honest, 2,000 medications that you can get, ADHD, women's health, things like that are covered. So that's just an overview, and it's something we're working toward in Music Friendly, but I just wanted to share that with y'all. So that's back to the original point I was trying to make. It is committees like that, and we like when you can be more engaged in the board and serve on those committees. And, you might find one that fits best for your time of day that you're available, or maybe just fits your interest best. So you can look through those options, and Sam and I will help you on that. The next page has a lot of blue stripes on it, and that's a one-pager for our mission, vision, and unique positioning statement. And so we just updated our mission and vision after we won the Great American Main Street Award, because that was part of our mission. And so we got to check that off and move forward. And we had public meetings last fall, and that over 100 people, Sam put on the infographic, that were engaged in that. We had a survey and then a public meeting, and came up with those mission and visions, and then we brought it to the board, and then we took it to City Council. So the unique positioning statement is something that we put together when we went to John Shallert's boot camp about 5 years ago, and then we brought it back, worked on it in promotion committee to what we are. It will be updated soon, just with numbers, but I still think that's probably accurate. And so that's a one-pager that's something that you should keep at the forefront. Then on the next page, we have a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then our articles of incorporation for Denison Main Street, Inc. And that was formed, and then the bylaws. That organization was formed so we could receive grants, because sometimes you can receive them as a municipality. Sometimes you need a nonprofit to receive the grants. And so we wanted to be versatile there and able to do that. You'll see a dark blue page like this after the bylaws. And that is, again, our mission statement, followed by my 5-year goals. Sam, I just updated those too, and I'll have to get you a copy. I'm sorry I didn't do that. But it's much of the same. We accomplished some of the things that are in that first column, and others, like streetscape might be in year 1, and it might also be in year 5. It might look a little different in year 5, but our goal is to design phase 3 and then to build phase 3. And so we are focusing on phase 2, but also phase 3. So another example is the dog park in 2025 wasn't built, but they are building it now, and it is coming along really nicely, and should be done fairly soon. And that's in Forest Park, and that's something that has been requested for a long time. It's got some strengths and weaknesses there, and then a little bit about the 4 committees that I mentioned earlier. The next page is the STAR volunteer program, and Sam has really kind of taken that on. we need volunteers for like the Dock Holiday Festival. Well, many of our business owners are running their business that day, and that's where we want them. You know, we want them inside those businesses, making lots of money. But you know, for those businesses that aren't, or maybe you know somebody that could volunteer with setup or something like that. So that's just one example. Handing out the directories is another thing. Go ahead.
Real quick, so when I passed out y'all's agendas today, with that, I gave all of you a volunteer packet. If you could fill that out and return it to me as well, if you would like to volunteer, but as a board member, we would like you to volunteer. So if we go ahead and get that on hand, that way y'all are ready whenever, if you're able to help out at something and we need somebody really quick, that way you guys are always ready as our board members. So.
And where is that?
It's
On
with their agendas.
separate?
Yeah,
Okay.
a separate packet from your agenda, but it should have been with the agendas. Let me know if you don't have one and I'll get you one.
We also have the crew that we use to walk the streets and just look for litter, look for new businesses coming in or signs of new businesses coming in. You know, just get out and about, and that's another volunteer opportunity. So that's all of Section 1. Section 2 is our budget for Main Street. And in our budget has increased in the last several years. It started out with me, and now we have these two and Jason in the maintenance of our department in our downtown. Through the TERS, you know, we have all this wonderful streetscape, but we've got to have the capacity to maintain it, or it's not going to look good. And so we're able to hire another helper for Jason, and that will be April 1st. And so we're kind of in the beginning stages of looking at that and hiring someone. So our budget has grown, and you know, we are to commend the council and leadership for that, because we couldn't serve you near as well if we didn't have the staff, the amazing staff that we do.
Donna, this is a fiscal year with the September 30?
Yeah, it ends September 30th. It's October 1st to September 30th. Thank you. Is this, okay. So this is something that Sam put together. It's our reinvestment numbers by year. And we track this on a monthly basis. You know, we may ask you for some figures. We get figures from our building permits, and we track the activity downtown, the building sales, the construction, and so that just documents the strength of our district, and we put it into state and national numbers, and it shows how strong the downtowns are, and it can cumulatively just make a statement for us as downtowners. The tax increment reinvestment zone is next, and there's some slides in there from the past reports that Orlando has given us. He put it on a graph and handout this time, so if you would like, you can insert that in there as well. At the back section of Section 2, there's grants and incentives from Denison Development Alliance, and they are a great partner just anything if they see a need downtown that a grant could assist with, they are going to be right there on the spot, and we're very fortunate for that. Section 3 is our vision statement that we did, and it's from 2021 to 2030. So this is the results of a survey that was done. I think we had 541 people that took it. It was during COVID, and so we couldn't have meetings, but we could have surveys. And so we got shoppers, people from the region, we got people, business owners, shoppers, property owners, and asked them to complete this. So we updated our document. So now when we have someone that comes in, like for instance, Bob Graham that owns a property, he might come to us and say, you know, I've got this property that I'm going to build between the the visitor center and Don Day's new building. What should I put in it? What do we need? What are people saying that we need? Well, we've got this documentation of what the survey said that we as a community needs in our downtown, and so you know we've got documentation for that, and we share that with him. It's got kind of our path that we want to take forward. It's got 10 goals, and everything was grouped under those 10 goals, all the comments that the people made, and so it's in our work plan. You've got some charts and graphs there that show the results. Does anybody have any questions about that? I just want you to know that we have a guiding document, and we'll update it before too long. So our previous one, it was like for 5 years, but we updated it in the middle of that just because we had accomplished a lot of things and it needed to be adjusted. And so it's a working document. If you see this page, it's called Downtown Denison, and it is our streetscape summary. In 2017, we did a report. Tool Design did a report that detailed what all they had garnered from our public meetings for streetscape. And that's in here. Rebecca, I know that we talked a while back about some of the things that had been decided back then, and so this is a summary of all that. It's also on our website. And then Sam's put in there our Q4 quarterly report. It's got volunteer hours that we track. And so you send a sheet around. You want to tell them about that?
Yeah, so the report after the quarterly report after the D3 thing in there, I put it in there so y'all could kind of see what our report looks like, what questions we were asked. We submit that same report every quarter. Obviously the answers change a little bit, but it's the same questions pretty much every time, and that's just how we use the information that we track, so we're not revealing anything or anything like that. I was going to say something else about it, and then I lost it.
Just volunteer hours? Maybe?
Yeah, we track the volunteer hours. If it comes back to me, I will let you know. I don't remember what I was going to say there. That's okay. But yeah, that's what that is. I'm
rubbing off on her. Okay, and so finally, toward the back of the book is the transformation strategies that we looked at last month, and most of you were here for that meeting and heard the discussion. But the National Main Street, who we model our program after, they suggest that you have one transformation strategy, maybe two if you're really good. Well, we kind of had three, and but you know, I justify that by we're a Great American Main Street Award winner. So, of course, streetscape is number one. On Go One, remain vigilant of the downtown or the Designing Downtown Denison project. So we have to make sure that Phase 3 is designed and built out, but we also have to make sure that our business owners are taken care of the best we can during this phase. So that's what that's about. Goal 2 changed from to build a visitor center. So we got to check that off, and last month we had discussions. So Jordan and Sam changed this, but it says convention center there, and so that aligns with Jordan's need to build a convention center and further solidifies our chances of getting the convention center in the 700 block of Main. Our original plan. Recommendation, what they heard from the public was that we needed a civic center. So, you know, we've got a place to hold art exhibits, classes, or indoor music on Main when we get rained out. And so it aligns with her goals to have a convention center. So if we marry the two, you know, again, we'd solidify our chances, but we would have more versatile building. So that's just the family-friendly. I think downtown Denison is a place that you could and would want to bring your family, and we want to maintain that. That doesn't mean that all businesses have to be family-friendly, but that's our goal, to have a good mix of those. And then healthy, clean, and safe. So, aside from our infographic at the back, that is all. And then Sam did you all a favor and put a bunch of QR codes on the final section. And so the Designing Downtown Denison Master Plan is available on the website at that QR code. Our design guidelines, which we worked on, and its historic preservation standards is on the next code. We have a sidewalk design guidelines, and that sidewalk usage, whether you have dining on your sidewalk or you use it for merchandise, to roll out your merchandise, or just to put decor items, you need to go by the sidewalk design guidelines. And so we're going to have to make our business owners more aware of what those are. We have a public art policy. Along with our downtown design guidelines, Chapter 30 of the Historic Preservation Ordinance is what governs the buildings, and is one of the reasons, the main reason that we still have that historic charm that our visitors love. And so the next would be Certificate of Appropriateness, which also goes with historic preservation. It's your application. And then special events webpage and application for that. Then we have a whole nother page, downtown business resources, parking, historic preservation, which is all the things I've talked about historic preservation. It's all on there. Public art as well. We have Main Street America resources, of course, Denison Development Alliance webpage, and that has their grants and incentives. And then the disaster preparedness is the final.
I know there's a lot of QR codes. It's also partially so that you guys as board members can be a resource to other downtown business owners and stuff, other committee members. That way, when they have questions, if we're not available for some reason, you guys have all of this stuff right here at your fingertips. So.
Like I said, she's very thoughtful and helpful to make it easy for you guys. Any questions?
I just think she did a great job.
Yeah, well done, Sam. That was a lot. All right. Thank you.
That's enough for today. We may continue next month, but that's a good overview and probably as much information as y'all could process in one setting.
Right. Yeah. So let's move on to our special project reports. Donna, was there anything else on Music Friendly that you wanted to talk about?
No, other than just continuing to work on our rhythm and rails, and that festival is in September, and so I haven't checked in the last couple of days on how many responses we have back from it, but if you're going to participate in that, please complete the form, and if you need that sent to you, we can do that.
Okay, good. Moving on to tours number 3 and designing downtown Denison. We've pretty much got
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered that.
information. Anything else you would like to add to?
So that's D3, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I sent out an update last night in the emails. They're still working on the 400 block, and as it extends into the 500 block and on Fannin. The fences should be moving as they're able to bring them in. The first of the week, they worked on extending the fence on Fannin south to Chestnut, and that should be brought in. I haven't verified that it was, but it was scheduled to be brought in back to the alley. And then they will tie in the water that's been postponed to next Thursday night. And they will tie in all the water from all directions there. So that should mean that everybody's got more reliable water source and for years to come. And then on Heritage Park, we've got some activity going on, some things going above ground. So they poured the stage, they poured the green room and storage room, and the framework for the green room and has gone up. Yeah. Yeah.
Studs?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That word.
It's exciting to see the above ground work
Yeah.
start happening.
Grant and I were talking, it's a little bit taller than we had thought, but it's going to look good. It's going to be a very nice park. And then I also let people know that the 300 block, I'd always said that we would have to come back to the 300 block to finish it out. Well, I have more details on that now. So there's a lot of electrical that they just put conduit in but didn't run the wires, and because they were trying to hurry to get out and to move on, things like that. So they're coming back to do that. They wanted to leave during the Christmas season as much for the 300 block as they could. So they're coming back this spring to work on the rest of it. There's a lot of electrical planning, a lot of granite and brickwork that's got to be done. So the whole street will be shut down for 2 weeks, estimated, and then another 2 to 4 for the end by the visitor center. So that goes, the gray bricks in the middle of the street, the red bricks 2 weeks, the gray bricks more. But we've got the tall pillars, the post, that we're going to put festoon lighting on across the street. And they've got the bases poured, but they don't have those posts up. And so they've got to do that, plus wire them electrically and things like
And
that.
that'll be spring?
Yes, so because of the business owners' request during our business owners' meeting recently, they wanted to know some dates, and, you know, I respect that. And so I just requested a date, and they don't have a firm date, but they said when they get finished with the 400 block. Well, the 400 block is scheduled April 3rd. So I said, so April? And yes, so that's the best estimate that we can give, but that's, you know, that's just going to have to work for now. So we feel like in April they will be back to the 300 block and then finished with the whole street and able to open it up. Last night we did have some lights on in the 400 block, so that was just another exciting. I know all the business owners were excited for their trees and their lights. So small victories, right?
Right, yeah, we'll take them. All right, good. Anything else on that? That's a lot. All right, let's move on to the Ike hike.
The signs still aren't installed. They came, but they couldn't find the signs, and so they have to come back and get them.
All right, let's talk about the Dock Holiday Festival.
We have our cards. Did we bring any cards today? She brought a whole wagon full of stuff, and so yeah, we didn't think about the cards. I do have some in my car, which are just right across the street. Well, does anybody need some? You know, y'all can put some out.
I could use some. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put some out.
Okay. I can. Okay. It's fine.
Yeah, the Dock Holiday.
Yeah.
Well, it's fine. I just don't want you to have to go over there. That's okay. Okay. So it's moving along, and yeah, we have the petting zoo.
What's good for, oh, petting zoo?
The petting zoo got, yeah, I mean, not that we were expecting it not to be confirmed, but it's in writing now.
Is that gonna be down at the 700 block? The petting zoo?
No, that won't be. So the 700 block will have the farmers market and the Frontier Village like we've done the past couple of years. We're hoping to get the Choctaw Nation there as well. We had them 2 years ago. I don't know if this is cutting in and out. We had them 2 years ago, and there was miscommunication on where they are, where we want to put them more in the front. We all think that's kind of a missed opportunity that we could have to have the Choctaw Nation there. So, yeah, but the right now the petting zoo is going to be more towards the 500 block right now.
And then other things similar to last year. I think we're going to have more activity in the SNAP Center. And then we can't use Heritage Park, but at least we're expecting the streets to be open.
How far down Main are y'all expecting to go?
We go to the depot. We have the gunfights in the depot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we'll
I
always,
missed it
that's like a
last year.
core, we get questions a lot of like, why don't we just do it just in Forest Park or stuff like that, but for us, it's for y'all, the festival's for y'all, so we're always gonna go Depot, 700 block, we'll cover it all, so the gunfights again will be, like Donna said, in the Katy Park.
Yeah, if you give them too close, you can't have them too close to the gunfights, right? In the
fair enough.
petting zoo, they gotta be apart. So, the horses too. So. Oh, also too, just so y'all know, since the Red River Museum is moving, we don't really have a location for them yet. The trains, I've already got a backup location. I've already talked to him, so we're good and set up there. So whether they get the new location, we'll get them there. If not, we're gonna move them to the depot. So.
Okay.
That's perfect. Thank you.
I do have one question. You were talking about having to re-close 300 block in April. Is that gonna be affecting Doc Holiday? Cause I know we were talking about having the street open.
Yeah, I've made it known, if all possible, they need to be finished
Okay.
by that date.
Cause I noticed the dates were all very close together, so I didn't quite know.
Yes, you picked up on it.
Okay.
But I've already put that out there. Again, I'm trying to be very informational and
No,
give you the
absolutely.
latest what I have. Then there's okay, well, this plus this means that, oh no, it could run into Doc Holiday. So I sent an email last night, and Ronnie, our Public Works Director, who's the lead on the project for us, said he agreed that it needed to be out of the way by then. And so hopefully they can arrange things so that it will be.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Who all wanted some postcards? I've got a little stack. I can always get more. Okay.
I need a good stack.
I can go pick some more up out of my car when we're finishing. I'd like to get those out of my car.
I like the whole shape of these, like the other ones that got the long ones. They're really cool.
Are y'all gonna do another, like, map of what businesses are where, like last year's was?
We have our,
I'm sorry.
Nope, I meant to put those in your binders and I completely forgot.
No,
I
you're
was gonna give everybody a directory and I did not. But Jordan just brought me the tourism one.
Oh, nice.
So we do have directories and I'll get those to you guys as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But
Send that to us, like, they probably have the downtown directories.
No, people they loved them last year's and they come in and ask for it,
Awesome.
since we're on the 100 block, so they can explore.
yeah.
We
that's
just got
great.
them in at the end of last
Heck
week,
yeah,
so.
okay.
we haven't distributed those. We had, we got them Thursday afternoon,
Right,
and we got the Doc Holiday cards Thursday afternoon. We were fortunate to be able to distribute those on Thursday night at our History in the Hall. So we were glad to get them in time for that. So your neighbor, the Horses Axe,
Yes.
got some.
Okay.
And they have probably the only downtown directories that have been distributed because we took some.
Fair enough.
But we will focus on getting that done. But if y'all want to take some, we can get some for you.
That'd be
Or
great.
if you want to help distribute them, we could help them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Oh, I did want to mention that Jordan has the tourism direct map. Okay, I didn't know what you call it. I know what it is. I didn't know what you called it. That looks similar to ours, but different. And so all of the collateral is complimentary, which I'm very proud of. And our calendar cards, of course, are matching, and that the calendar cards are also included in the downtown directory, but it's just another way to distribute the information.
This is beautiful. Really well done. Okay, let me stop looking at the pretty pictures and let's move on. So let's go to Eisenhower's birthday.
Can't think of anything new. The report is in your packet there. We did a lot of brainstorming last time. That's about it.
So next we will go to our committee reports, starting with DDI.
So for DDI, we had the hot chocolate frolic last weekend. It was really successful. I mean, for my store, I mean, we had a record day. I mean, we've never done anything near that number. So it was a great day for us. Coffee Fest is coming up. That's a 2-day event, coming January 30th and 31st. And then we've got Valentine's, and Valentine's is going to be a 2-week process downtown. So it's going to be a drawing over the 2 weeks for the whole Valentine's piece. And then we'll have the Shamrock Stroll and the pub crawl. The stroll's more during the day for the businesses, for the retail, and then the pub at night. And then we got Easter coming up. And then we also, it's not going to be a fully DDI event, but we are going to do a 420 event this year as well. So, and there's a few of the other businesses downtown. They're going to be participating in that, and we'll post that for more for everybody. And then, you know, into the summer, we're not worried about. So any questions about DDI? Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch. Next, we will have Chamber of Commerce.
Don't think anyone here. They have their annual awards the 31st. Is that?
The Taste of Denison.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're still doing the competition between the different places that are doing the foods.
They've actually changed it. I'm so sorry. I'm on the chamber, but I didn't know what I was supposed to say. They are not making it a competition. I received an email last week.
Okay, so yesterday, I think it was, Ernie reached out to, I think, Deanna or something, and he was told that, okay, it's back, that we are doing a competition.
So we're changing it again. Okay, yes, because I got a big official email last week that they're trying to make it more of a friendly environment.
Yeah.
Because we're all should be friends, and so rather than being in a competition. And so that was what I was last told.
Yeah.
So now I need to go reach out. I guess I'm putting my competition hat back on. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay then.
They thought maybe you weren't going to try hard
I
enough.
was super excited because they had came in actually after the Hilton when they met and said they were revamping it, and then we got the email the next day, and so I guess we're going right back to competition. So, all right.
This kind of came down word of mouth to me.
Oh, I got you.
But, you know.
Got you.
So it may not be official.
Okay.
Okay. Well, moving on, tourism and CVB.
So we're currently doing some website updates on our current website. So again, updating lodging options. So if you know anyone with short-term rentals, Airbnbs, Verbos, just ask them to email me if they want their properties listed on our website. We're just trying to make sure that we have all the accommodations listed. Of course, we will have to make sure they're in compliance with state and local taxes, but that's an easy process that we're happy to assist with. But if you know anyone that owns short-term rentals that isn't aware of hot tax or that we help promote them, just let them know that they can email me. As far as our new website goes, we've had a couple of meetings with the Simple View and Granicus team. So now what they are working on is building our website. So at our next meeting, which will be like mid-February, they're going to give us like a layout of what the design should look like. So we should be able to show you some of that at the next Main Street meeting, which is super exciting. So Discover Denison will be the parent website, and then Downtown Denison will be a microsite within it. So everything will be integrated, and we'll have like a similar look and vibe, but obviously like we won't represent the same businesses. Like I'm not going to promote accountants and investors, stuff like that. So that's really exciting. Sam, did Ashley email that?
She did. I'm just not quite sure which. There's a couple different ones on here.
Can you show them all, and then we can?
Yeah.
We'll let Donna pick here.
I was gonna say, yeah, bear with me. Give me a second to get my email pulled up on the screen.
So First United is going to sponsor a billboard for for us. It's the one on the viaduct coming into downtown Denison. So it's going to say, "Welcome to award-winning downtown Denison," which is super exciting. It's the one on the right side of the road, like closest to, I guess, the new mural. And we've got the design of it coming.
Thank you.
Maybe. Yeah.
Sorry, everyone.
You're welcome.
Maybe, we'll see. I think I got it. It just,
And then while she
Very
messes
secure.
with that, there is some available billboard space in Clara. It's Sam Stokely. So it's 2 panels. We're just trying to, make sure downtown businesses know that there are opportunities to promote. It would be really nice to have more downtown business billboards, along the highway. So if that's something that you're interested in, definitely let me know and I can get you his contact information. But each panel is $500 a month. Obviously, there's going to be like art and installation fees as well. But it kind of just depends on like the contract that you do, whether it's a 1, 2, or 3 year. But if that's something that any of y'all are interested in, or he even said that businesses could go in together for it. So if y'all wanted to have multiple downtown businesses represented, we could do that as well. I just wanted to let you know that that was an opportunity. It would be really cool because it's a great spot on Highway 69, and it's, just right across the border. It lets people know that we have stuff beyond what they see for Denison on the highway, so we definitely want to represent downtown more. But this is the viaduct one. So these are some of the options. I gave Ashley a template, and then she made it incredible as she does.
favorite picture.
Did you say it was 500 a month? 500 a month?
For the 3-year contract.
The third one. So how pretty. Okay.
But do y'all kind of like that layout?
Yeah.
I think, I like the one with
Yeah,
the,
I like that.
like this.
I
I like
like the
that
picture.
one of the third
Yeah,
one.
with them facing the,
I like this picture, and that one.
Oh, yeah, either like that one or the one with the 2 people. Yep. Yeah, put our awards right there in the middle.
Exactly.
Those are nice.
Wondering, okay, but look at the first one again, Sam, no.
This one?
See how I don't know why, it's my left brain, I think, because the wording on the left and the picture on the right. And then the seals in the empty sky space. I don't know why that's standing out to me more. I mean, maybe it looks too generic. But I'm thinking the seal's getting lost in the curve of the one that you were just looking at. And the,
I like that one.
and the, yeah, okay,
And the
I
cars
agree
in
with
the
you.
back are really
I think
cool.
the logo's in the top right.
Yeah.
Pulls your eye over there.
yeah. And having an empty space instead of any busyness.
And then with that frame of mind, is that a better picture than the other one? Because it's like less people right up on you, just the 2?
I think so too. And the other picture, they're like not facing the camera. They got their hands on their hips kind of awkwardly. And
Yeah.
It's very true.
If that was me-
down here with a
If that was
purpose,
me
man.
in my head, I'm like, I'd be like, damn it, I'm gonna.
Very good point. Very good point.
So true.
Yeah. This one's a warmer.
And look, they're moving, they're not just, there's movement there,
Yeah.
so.
Lots of pictures to choose from.
Looks like there's a lot of car problems going on, but.
I'm just kidding, I know it's a show, I know it's a show.
These are all the ones with that image.
I don't know, Donna, what do you think, honestly?
I think any of them's fine. On one hand, it bothers me because there's such a gap there.
Okay.
And
But
then
if
right
you're,
here.
I
why I liked this one, which it filled that space probably, but I see what you mean about.
Are you talking about the gun people or are you talking about the gun?
Yeah, I think the problem with them on the left is they're walking out of the picture, which means you're not going to look at the words, right? You're gonna look left instead of to the right. That way the words and the people are drawing you both to the message, right? You don't want an ad that draws you away
Oh, I see
from
what
the
you're
ad,
saying.
right?
You think of like how
think
much
it goes-
time people have to look at this, right?
Right.
In the car, right? They'll catch the words, like all the words, after they see it multiple times, but I like the seals being predominant, like standing out.
I think so too.
All right. We also updated our grant applications, so now they reflect 2026 dates. So we have conventions, events, historic preservation or restoration, and we have advertising and promotion grants now. So that it will always be presented to the board, the Convention Visitor Bureau Board. So if y'all are ever interested in having events, conventions, things like that, doing some advertising for CVB grants, please apply. It's on Discover Denison's website. If there's anyone you know that wants to have an event, tell them to apply. We're happy to get more and more events here, and we want to do what we can to help promote tourism in Denison.
That's on the CVB website?
Yes. So you'll always present your application, and then after the event or however you use the funds, you would do like a post-funding report just of like the overall success. So that's like a new requirement that we have now, just for accountability and, you know, making sure the funds are being used how they're intended. And then we are in the planning for Bluegrass Bandits and Barbecue. George Tavern is letting us use their space, which is super gracious. We've got the bands committed or booked, and we are going to meet with the Boys and Girls Club to figure out the rest of the details. So that's super exciting. And then the Downtown Progressive Dinner, we officially have Let Us Indulge, George Tavern, Horses Axe, who else did I say? Deviled Egg Co., Ivanhoe Homestead, and possibility of Emily's Kitchen. So I think no matter what, it's going to be a really great and exciting event. I think we're going to have a lot of awesome restaurants and businesses downtown represented, so we're excited.
So how is that progressive dinner gonna function?
So it's going to be similar to the wine walk, where they're going to have like a sheet, and so when they go to each business, they're going to be given small portions of either, you know, an appetizer, entree, dessert, drinks, and so whenever they get that small portion, like the business will just X off.
So like
They've
a
been to
passport,
that.
you get your passport
Yes.
stamped at each stop.
Yes, exactly.
And is there a recommended order or a particular order, or you just go right to your will?
We'll probably have a recommended order, you know, doing the maybe like appetizers and then drinks and then entrees, like stuff like that. The George Tavern, will have a band there that night, so we're kind of trying to figure out how to make sure the night ends there, so that people can listen to the band and stuff like that. Our biggest thing too is to make sure that like the guest experience for those not participating in the events is still positive. So it's going to be kind of like a go at your own pace. So there's not like huge groups going to each business, just because we don't want, you know, the restaurant or business to get negative feedback because other experiences were negative. So that's our plan right now. There's a possibility that a couple of other restaurants might be added to it, but I think overall it's going to be really exciting. Our plan to come from this is to start offering food tours in Denison. So downtown McKinney does it, and it's super successful. So we're hoping that the owner of the business there thinks that we have something special. We know we do, but he wants to take a look and see if that's something that he wants to start offering here as well. So that could be an exciting benefit from the event too.
Absolutely. What's the date for that progressive dinner?
March 28th.
Jordan, really fast, did you say for the McKinney, you said it was McKinney that does the food tours?
Downtown McKinney, it's called Food Walks of Texas.
Okay, did you say that the guy who organizes that wanted to come here, or who was
Yeah,
it? That was that guy?
he's coming to the event.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for tourism?
All right, thank you, Jordan. Okay, moving on to promotion committee.
All the rest of the committees will be in your packet. Take the rest of them anyways. Yep.
Flip past the minutes.
It's in the Main Street Advisory Board packet. It's like the last page, I think.
Oh yeah, I will mention. So in our promotion, I don't know if any of y'all are members of the Denison Neighbors Facebook group that started, but I had joined that just to kind of keep up while I live in downtown Denison, but also just to keep an eye on things. And someone brought up again the painted rocks for downtown, and that got a ton of reactions of people missing that. So I brought that up in our promotions committee, and we kind of talked through some ideas. I still need to go talk to Matt, but I think we came up with a really good idea of with Denison Artworks, trying to incorporate it. We want to bring it back. We just don't have the staff to just paint rocks all day. As much as that fun that would be, but so anyways, we want to partner with Google Artworks and with a lot of the people that have already done it. I had someone reach out to me, so I let her know that we were interested in volunteers for that, and so we're interested in getting that picked back up.
Was that not just something that started organically, or was it a downtown managed?
It was intentional, but it was organic the way it grew. So Colleen and Mangielli and Elsie were next door to each other, and they had some vendors maybe that had seen it in Florida, and so we facilitated the starting of the group, and they did all the work, and it just grew.
It took off. Yeah.
I just noticed we're on promotion technically, but on Economic Vitality, the second bullet point, it should be 511 and 513 at West Main Street. There's no street there. That's what 511, 513 means.
Oh, okay. Is there anything else in promotions that you wanted to highlight?
Grant, do you also, like, on the same vein as the rocks, have you done any research to see about geocaching?
I'm aware of geocaching. I haven't. Are you? Sorry, let me collect my thoughts. Are you thinking to geocache the rocks themselves, or are you saying that instead of the rocks?
No, like get the rocks going, and then in the back of your mind think like, do we have? Because that's kind of like a subversive culture too.
Yeah.
Like there could already be geocaching.
I haven't done it in a long time, but I used to be very interested in that.
There's a couple of spots here.
Okay, yeah.
Is there still? I know there was like an app. Is there still like the app or whatever for? Yeah, that's something to look into for sure.
Okay, so is that all for promotion?
Yeah, the rest. Yeah, promotion, and then if you have any questions on the reports for economic design or organization, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, let's move on. If there aren't any more questions for promotion, we'll move on to economic vitality.
Val's Pizza opened. If you haven't eaten there yet, go eat there in the old rail yard building.
I was there last week. It was pretty good.
Yeah, we ate there too. It was good.
So 511 and 513, that
Correct.
And 409, what building is that?
That's where Vasquez was,
Oh, yes.
right next to
okay.
the barber shop.
Yep, right next to the barber shop, okay.
Which one was that?
It's in the 400 block. It's right next.
Fertitas was there, and then.
It's right next to Wayne's Boot Repair.
Oh, okay.
Right
Yeah,
over
it's
there.
like the barber shop, and then it's been Fertitas and Vasquez.
Mhm.
Right.
They're together, I think it's green.
Mhm.
Any other questions for economic vitality? Okay, let's move on to design.
Wendy was very gracious and let us tour her building, and it looks amazing.
Thank you.
I did want to point out, I'm sorry, Wendy. I did want to point out that some new permanent locations of public art. So there were 4 pieces from Heritage Park before, or the vicinity. So the Phoenix Rising is the one after the fire that was by the burn lots, and that will go back in front of the visitor center. And then the guitar will go back in Heritage Park. There were 2 other smaller sculptures that look like well, it was a small town big art, and then there was a bird, and those will go in Katy Park, down by the depot.
All right, if there aren't any more questions or updates for design, we'll move on to organization.
So we have the awards coming up, and that was, I guess, all of the discussion. And so, Sam, do you want to say anything about this?
Well, I did actually get the contract from Lucas yesterday, like right before I was leaving, for the depot. So we'll get all that going today. And then he also sent me a couple mock-ups of layouts as well with the chairs and everything. I haven't had time to stop and look at them, but and then he reiterated that we can go and meet with him whenever, like in person, to discuss all of that stuff. We've gotten some quotes for the supplemental like cocktail tables and a stage and stuff like that. So we're finalizing all of those details.
And we got a sponsor too.
Oh yes, an anonymous sponsor. I was told, but yes. So we've got a sponsor. We've got quotes going for all of that. We are also working on our taste of downtown, or whatever we'd called it, downtown bites. I don't remember what we called it. But the food for the awards ceremony, we've got that kind of in process as well. I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, we're just trying, it's really hard, this being our first year, figuring out the food option of it. Like, we've done it before, but we've not done it like this before. And so, you know, I have a conversation with Hunter, and I don't know what food costs are, you know, and so I don't want to ask him, for instance, to donate the food. We want to pay for it, but we just don't have an unlimited budget. And so we decided, well, Rebecca and Sam decided that we would charge $20 for the tickets.
I'm pretty sure that was your number. Pretty sure.
I think the board
Just
agreed
saying.
on that, and like,
Yeah.
I'll
You're
check
right,
the
actually.
Yeah.
It was the board that
The
decided.
board.
It was Wendy, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I
When
mean,
you
I
say that it's my
absolutely
idea.
do.
Definitely.
I think it also just kind of caught up with the, like Stafford House was awesome 2 years ago. That was phenomenal. We would be happy to do that again every year, but they just didn't offer that anymore. And then last year, if y'all remember, we were like, oh yeah, we'll do sand, we'll make our own charcuterie boards, and we did not understand the amount of time
Like
and
engraving board.
that was just not feasible for more
Yeah,
years.
shout out
so.
to Lucas and Rebecca. for
Yeah,
getting
yeah, that was a huge help.
No, I pretty much just watched.
Yeah, we spent hours setting that up to see it go in about 20 minutes. So,
It was a mess.
which is great. I'm glad people were taking part of it. But yeah, so anyways, I think it was necessary to kind of move to bring people in.
And do we have an updated list that we wanted to, like,
Of
list
the-
out
of the businesses?
The food vendors? that
Yeah,
are-
so the businesses that we got so far, the businesses that we have committed are Emily's Kitchen, Let Us Indulge, Two-Handed Cookie, and The Sandwich King, and Rose Claire Coffee. Those are the three businesses in 615 West Main Street. And the last one, I think, is Jimmy John's. Did I miss
And
anybody?
Emily's,
Did you say?
Yeah, Emily's and Let Us Indulge were first, and then the three, I think there's,
Let us indulge.
And we talked about there being like a certain budget in mind, depending on how many people signed up for it, and then dividing that budget by how many people, and then going to the businesses and saying, you don't have to go all out, this is what we can offer, and, you know, you can prepare like within that parameter of budget, like what you'd like to bring to it, but also them knowing what other businesses are involved helps inform what they decide to do, sweet or savory or that kind of thing.
yeah, that way we have like a variety of options, because we do have, for example, 2 sandwich places that have signed up to participate, so we were trying to decide different ways that could provide variety, but then everybody can still participate. So one thing we've talked about so far, I don't know if we've really discussed this with those businesses, but like one doing hot sandwiches and one doing cold sandwiches. So there's some variety, but they can still do what they're like best at. But that was.
Yeah, we're in the phase now where we have another conversation with the businesses and ask them to give us a potential menu, and then we look at the menu as a whole and get back to them. And so we're trying to fit that in the midst of all the other activities we have going on. So
It's exciting, and the date for that is
February 26th. It's a Thursday.
So we will need every one of you there.
We'll send out the Eventbrite. It should be the beginning of February. I believe that we have that for the ticket sales.
Yeah. So please try to come, because we ask our board members to give out awards, like you may give the design award, you may give a promotion award. So we'll give you that award, who gets it in the script. If you want to change the script, that's up to you.
But one will be provided for you, so
Yes.
don't freak out.
Yes.
Could I get one with a less hard name to say? I got up there and it was the yarn shop, because I still can't.
Oh, Quixotic.
And instead of, really,
I'll make sure.
Quixotic.
Something like Jimmy John's.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Emily's.
Yeah, they're not going to be eligible, so I just.
That's funny. All right, anything else on organization? If not, we'll go to our director's report.
Oh, boy. So Denison is participating in the semi-quincentennial of our nation, and we had, as you all know, we've had very limited funds this year for anything, and so we have just a minute amount to spend on it. We're hoping for a sponsor for some banners for our street banner program. So we would not use our traditional art banners for this year and replace it for this year with another banner that would be patriotic. So the 100 east, west, and 200 blocks, we're in phase 1. The banner arms the attachments that hold the banners were not installed with that, and so we ordered them with phase 2, and so all the street lamps will be getting banner arms installed, and then hopefully subsequently we'll get a sponsor for this, and within the next month we can have our patriotic banners. I want to show you a couple of banners that are options. I'll try to turn it around in just a second. This is the Betsy Ross banner, and that's been the favorite. I found this one that I also like. And then there's an option to alternate those with the American flag looking banner. And we started this whole ordeal with flags to put out. Since we're not having flags in the sidewalk, we thought, okay, we can put them on the buildings. That's going to be another ordeal. And so we ended up with just using the banners, which is a good option. So do y'all have any opinions on?
I agree with Betsy Ross.
I know, I like Betsy Ross.
You like
Second
it?
that, yeah.
That's my
Could we do
favorite one
both?
too.
Kind of, alternate?
We could.
Because those look really good, both of them.
That's what I was thinking. But we've got some others. You can get it customized, where you've got "Welcome to Denison," and you could get that on any of these. And then the American flag that we could do. So that's what we're looking at. But we'll have patriotic banners, I'm hoping, in about another month.
So moving forward, we will not have, once our streetscape is complete, we will not have the receiving hole for the flagpoles.
Flag, correct.
So would it be a smart idea to go ahead and get some current American flag banners that we could put out?
So that's a good thought. Tony Kai was hoping that we could use the American flag where they could be reused instead of just this year. Yes. And I was trying to figure out how that fits in with our current banner program. And of course, we could do the background of a patriotic nature and still, or even just a solid color that would fit with the patriotic banners and use that. But yes, we could do that. There's the American flags have been used to show people are open. If you're open, you put your flag out. That could move to the buildings, like you put it on your building and it's anchored to the building. That's my recommendation, is that we convert that, but that would have to be on an individual basis unless we decided to do it as a whole, which was one of the options with this, but it was decided that the banners would be a better option.
Well, I think because of the flags too, you have to bring them in nightly, or you have to light them, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't have to, but that is flag code, and you will make people very angry if you're not doing that.
Exactly. We are.
I would avoid the flags. I would do banners. I would not do the flags, just because you could make people angry with a flag as opposed to if you set it up incorrectly, right?
Right.
Just
We
more
want to be
protection.
respectful of
Yeah.
the flag, and we have a strong veteran presence in our community, and they do take offense to it when
Very
you don't
serious.
treat it right.
They'll be more durable too. You wouldn't have to unknot them with the wind and that.
I can't think of anything else other than the awards. If y'all plan to attend, please.
And nominations?
Yes. Sam's going to send that out so y'all can. It shouldn't take very long. There's 20, and one of them is your name, second one's your business, and then you just look at the award category. Basically, I ask you a question, and you answer it. So, like, best sign. If you can't think of anybody that's got a good sign this year, then go to the next one. You don't have to answer all of them, but we just want your thoughts on good projects.
All right, well, if that's it, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mitch, second, Kat. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Stay here.